We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different knives we're going to be checking out in this video. What is going on, Miguel? Guys here, welcome back to the channel. And it looks like we have a new brand here making a debut, VYRkniv. That's going to be an interesting one. We got 3 Lothars. I believe these are different variations. And then we have something special here from Nextool. Are they making their first folding knife? Are they not? We're about to find out. So I'm going to unbox all these in this same order here. And of course, all the links will be down below in the description and pinned comments. But let's start right off here with this knife. Again, very interesting name. I got the Military 2 that I recently just unboxed. It is a Blade HQ exclusive. This thing is over 9,000. I mean, over 9.5 inches in length. That is a crazy blade, to say the least. So yeah, I have to be careful because this is one of those knives for the people who are always like, Miguel, where the big knives at? Miguel, we want to see the big knives. Well, check out that upload on the Military 2 if you haven't already. And these are available right now. I'll have them linked down below if you want to check them out as well. But do we have a model here on this one? Yes, no. The folding pocket knife for camping survival. Okay, it's a very nice name. Not generic at all. Here we go. Let's see here. We have the knife and we have some paperwork that I guess is stuck to the stuck to the box. Limited warranty card. All right, we got a warranty period of 5 years since the purchase date, and there's the coverage and how to claim. Everything is on there if you want to pause the video. But here is the knife. Now this is going to be a budget knife, of course. I mean, it's not going to be the next premium knife out there, so they're going the budget route, and it kind of shows here for sure. I mean, we got black G10 on this one with orange colors going on there. We have exposed liners with 2 standoffs, deep pocket carry clip. It is not reversible for some reason, so that will be the first piece of feedback I will give him right there. It looks like it's going to be a liner lock. We have a back flipper with no jimping. That will be the next piece of feedback I will give him, is to add some jimping, but it actually protrudes quite a bit there, so that's something. We have an opening hole here, pill shape opening hole. So, you know, it looks like they are pushing out their first design, and they are going to be making improvements here as time goes. Yeah, what's happening here is I'm slipping off the flipper tab a time or two just because it doesn't have any jimping, but that is a pretty solid flip once you get it through there. Light switching, it works. And can we push button it? I'm trying to fail it here. Nope, it's working. Yeah, so flipper is solid. Spidey flick. Oh, come on now. I was a little concerned. I'm like, is that gonna work? Oh yeah, it works, right? Pleasantly surprised. Thumb deployment is also pretty solid. Now they also kind of go the like the Spyderco route, where they don't do not even the slightest of chamfering along the hole itself. It's just a very sharp 90-degree corner right there, if anything, or edge. Something to keep in mind, but it works pretty good. D2 steel, if I haven't already mentioned that. It is going to be a stone wash finish. Beautiful sheep's foot warranty, little blend with a flat grind. A little bit of overkill there with the branding. I mean, if you made a smaller font or maybe a smaller logo. D2 font is way too big. That should be something really tiny, like tucked into a corner somewhere. And it just, you know, it seems like sometimes some of the budget brands, they don't have the high-end machining to do like very specific, like smaller fonts or print it in a specific angle or things like that. So you end up with a bigger font or whatnot. But I mean, for a budget banger, someone's out there trying to save a buck, looking for a beater, right? So this one is, if you look at it from that angle, right, as a beater, right, or one that's not going to break the bank, absolutely, definitely checking some boxes there. So I gotta tell you, all deployment methods are solid. I've been testing them here for just a bit, and they are pretty good. Liner lock is about, okay, good engagement, 50+%, 55% or so with my very human sight. Not a ton of access from the show side, but it protrudes out quite a bit, and it has some jimping on it that you can push down into the left here, right, to disengage. As far as the closing action, okay, surprisingly, of course, it's going to be on ball bearings, but very full shot, right, very drop shot for what it is. So that's also interesting there. Not only are these pretty affordable, but you can get 10% off if you want to pick one up. A code EDC Miguel. I'm not sure why they did it backwards. I think if you use the link down below, the code is going to be automatically applied. But yeah, you can get it even at a lower price if you use that discount code. Now, hammer grip, I mean, I got plenty of grip handle here. That flipper tab is going to be your finger guard. No forward choke option here. That's just something to keep in mind there. But I am able to get a full purchase with my average size hands. No jimping on the blade either. Seems like a, again, budget knife sort of decision made there. It does have a little bit of a chamfer here towards the front. That's an interesting design piece, but no jimping. That would be another piece of feedback I will give them, right? Add a little bit of jimping right here. That would be nice. And they actually didn't do any milling on the inside for weight reduction. So if they're looking to grow their brand, VYRkniv, you know, you're watching this video, you're looking for feedback. That's the reason why I decided to check out this knife, so I could see it in person, see what it's all about, and, you know, kind of see what needs to improve, right? And of course, if you're willing to pick one up and you're okay with some of the things we've talked about, then I would say go for it. But they're looking to improve their design, right? They would absolutely go and fix a few things, right? Do some milling on the inside for weight reduction. Pocket clip is actually pretty decent for what it is. I would just make it reversible on the other side. I would say it's actually pretty comfortable, so I do give them that. That's a solid 9 out of 10 right there. A little bit of jimping here on the blade, and also a little bit of jimping on the flipper tab. I mean, those things alone would make a huge difference, believe it or not. But technically, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, unless you're a lefty and you need a reversible pocket clip or something. But all the other things are obviously nice to have. We are pampered with so many companies that already offer all those things, and a brand new company, right? Kind of learning the ropes, I guess, need to you know, make a couple improvements if they want to really cater to the masses. VYR Knives. I'm just gonna call it Knives, right? I know they're trying to say knives, right, with a cool accent, but you know, you're missing the ES, man. And again, a little bit of billboarding there. I would definitely tone that down a little bit. So you already know, right? Your boy's gonna give it to you how it is. Right? It's got some potential going for it, because this thing is gonna be very, very affordable, especially with that EDC Miguel 10% discount if you're interested. But you know, some improvements can be made, and so my goal as a knife reviewer, knife content creator, is to share that feedback with the community, and that is you guys. So let's go ahead and take a break from this one. We have 3 different ones here from Lothar, and I'm just gonna do a 3-for-1 here, because I took them out of the box and I'm like, okay, it looks like they might be the same knife and they're just different variants. So let's see what we're dealing with here. All of these come in a box, and inside that box is this sort of carbon fiber looking zipper pouch. There's paperwork, there's wiping cloth, and then we got the knives. They all look to be the same model with different variants. I think we checked out one recently here with some Damascus on the blade. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go in that order, right there. This first one looks to be aluminum, right? It looks like we have some aluminum here with some, I want to say G10, but it looks like micarta. It's got me bamboozled here. See, I got some fancy words for you from time to time. A little bamboozle here with this one. Future me double check. Again, looks like G10, could be micarta. Got an aluminum gold little accent right there in the back spacer. We have, I want to say they wanted to maybe match the thumb studs to the back spacer, but they're slightly different of yellow, of gold, if you would. And these are going to be very, very fidgety, right? With the button lock, traditional plunge lock button lock, blacked out blade on this one. It is going to be VG10. That's a pleasant surprise right there. I thought it would be like D2 or something, but blacked out blade matches the blacked out, you know, handles and whatnot. So that's looking pretty rad right there so far. Let's check out the next one. And again, different variants here for you. You may be choosing a colorway if that speaks to you the most. This one's got the kind of goldish yellow bolsters and handles. I want to say this one looks more like G10. G10 inlays and back spacer here. It's got this pocket clip that's not reversible. That has been my one piece of feedback I've been giving them all day long, or every single time I check out the Falcon. I mean, the action is pretty sweet, and a lefty could use it all day. So why are they choosing to leave lefties out of the equation? I don't know. It's beyond me, but I have given them that feedback, because I've checked out this model before a few times, like the smaller one, and now this one's like a slightly bigger one. This one also has VG10 steel with kind of like a great bead blasted finish right on the blade there. Looking good. And then we have this last one. It's kind of like a little bit of gray and black combination. We have, again, the same ball bearings, plunge lock, button lock. Very, very fidgety. We'll put him through the stick of truth here for the wag test in just a moment. But yeah, very nice and great action, very fidgety. I always say it kind of looks like if you took a kind of like a slip joint, traditional, classy looking knife profile from years and years ago and made it into a modern folder, kind of gave it modern action. That's kind of what this one reminds me of, right? It's got that clip point blade, got some belly there towards the front. It is a flat grind. Okay, this one does have milling on the inside. I'm not sure if you can see it. There we go. That's a better angle. I think some of the models we looked at don't have. Like, this is a gold version. This one is solid aluminum. So that's kind of like a conscious decision, I guess, to do milling on some and not the others. Oh, this is probably steel, right? So yeah, makes sense. This is probably steel. The other ones are aluminum. Let's just go ahead and bust the myth. Yes, steel on this one, right? Definitely has milling. That helps with weight reduction. Aluminum on this one. Oh, that's the pivot, but aluminum on this one. So yeah, no milling necessary. Okay, I'll give them that. No milling on this one either. It is aluminum. So Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Not a big deal. But you got 3 different options right there, right? I'm just going to do a little side by side. Right, chances are one of these might speak to you the most. And these are likely going to be giveaway knives combined with some other prices and things like that, some other models from other brands. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, this would be a great time to do so. Right now, we have a 50,000 subscriber giveaway. That video will be linked down below and also at the end of the video, so you can click on it and get entered if you haven't already. And of course, many giveaways will come down the line as well. So definitely make sure you get entered for that. Stick of truth time. Here we go. Plunge lock, button lock. We're checking for any failure. We're doing the whack test, finger safe. Okay. Pretty solid there. We're gonna move on to the gold one here, aluminum. I haven't had any issues with these failing at any point, but it's always, you know, worth it to check, right, for you guys' sake. And then last but not least, we got this black and gray model here. Again, using a little bit of, I guess, gradually harder force, but again, just a very straightforward whack test. And as you can see, it doesn't affect the action, and it's actually, you know, pretty strong, right? For a plunge lock, button lock, no issues there as far as failing or anything, right? What I'm not gonna do is take 20 steps back and then do a slam dunk jump and then just, you know, hit it full force. That's what I'm not gonna do. But you get the idea, right? They absolutely passed the whack test for what it's worth, so that's a solid in my book. But wait, there is more, right? We got this package here from Nextool. It didn't come with a box, it just came straight like this. I'm sure it was pre-production, and it should be available right now. But what are we looking at? Well, we know Nextool for being an awesome multi-tool company, right? They do really good budget multi-tools, but now it looks like they are doing their take on a folding knife, and I am here for it, absolutely. So we got G10 on the handles, recessed liners, deep pocket carry clip, not reversible. It's also mounted kind of interestingly here, kind of like Civivi Vision FG, right? Kind of at the top instead of in the middle. So we'll see how that works in a moment. It looks like we're rocking a crossbar lock, and then we have a little bit driver right here, kind of like I want to say some recent O-Knife Ultras that we have looked at as well. So let's go ahead and get it deployed here. Thumb stud for the win. Well, bam, right? Check it out right there. That is the blade. Good old sheep's foot blade with a little bit of belly, right? Not entirely a straight edge. 14C 28N steel with kind of like a, you know, be blasted finish to it, kind of like a grayish kind of color to it, right? Check it out. Kind of gives me medium knife vibe, so it's not an extra long knife or short knife, so medium size for the most part. I like that they chose this geometry compared to anything else. There's my cup of tea right there all day. It is going to be a flat grind, and it does have probably not the best. We got to go 5X here. Probably not the best plunge grind situation, so you will develop a smile here at some point as you sharpen this knife more and more. So yeah, something to keep in mind there if you really want to get pretty technical. But how's the action? I mean, it's going to be on ball bearings. So now how they do the ball bearings, I don't know. They typically tend to be a little bit on the loud side as compared to some other folding companies that have been doing knives for a minute. They're a little bit more on the quiet side, but I mean, they work, right? Definitely get the work done here. Reverse flick. Yeah, we can do that. Either nail or meat of the middle finger. It helps to have this sort of chamfer down area, right, on both sides. So they paid attention to that. And of course, we can deploy with the crossbar itself. A little flick of the wrist is all it takes. Ergos, I mean, it's going to be a full 4-finger grip with my average size hand. So we're good there. We can maybe forward choke a tad bit if we wanted to, right? Obviously being aware of what you're doing. Very small jimping, maybe a little longer jimping would have been nice, but that's a little bit of a nitpick there. Liners inside are milled for weight reduction. I mean, a very small amount of milling, but you know, milled nevertheless. And of course, we got the elephant in the room. What is this thing back here? Well, it looks like a, hold on, this is my theory. We got this button right here. At first, I thought it was a button, plunge lock, button lock for the bit driver. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and get it open here. It looks like, okay, it looks like it might be a slow roll. Okay, that's what it is. So it's a plunge lock, but it's not on ball bearings. It looks to be on washers. That's why it's a little bit on the stiff side. And guess what? It has the ability to lock up at this 90-degree angle here, or you can go fully 180. So you could use it like this, or maybe you need a little bit more torque, right? You could use it like that. That's cool. And again, it is locking, right? All you gotta do is push the little plunge lock right there. They give you a 5X zoom so you can see, right? Plunge lock, button lock. That's what we're dealing with here. And as far as the driver here, we have a PH1 Phillips, and then we have a flathead SL 3.5 on the opposite end. Again, one of those things that doesn't take away from the knife itself. Somebody's going to be like, oh my gosh, that's such a gimmick. Why do you need a screwdriver on a knife? Well, they do it in such a way where you could even forget that it's there and just use the knife as normal, right, as usual. But then, you know, one moment you need a bit driver and you don't have your multi-tool with you, that's going to come handy, right? You know that, I know that. Everybody in the kitchen sink knows that. The name on this one is the K40, and I want to compare here to the K30 we recently looked at. This one has a lot more options. It's also rocking a crossbar lock. It's got a thumb stud deployment blade. And I kind of said this on the original video. This one has kind of like a mirror finish to it. I'm glad that they can do different finishes like they did on the K40. And this one has a lieu of a whole other plethora of options. There's that bit driver with the same little flathead Phillip head bit. This one has a pocket clip, again, in the middle. That's how it should be. And we have some other goodies. I mean, one other standout, and you can check out the full video on this one, is the massive scissors. So you get a knife and you get a whole other lieu of multi-tools. So, you know, maybe you want to prioritize having more tools or having less tools, but the truth is, I mean, they are both actually looking pretty good. Longer blade, I'm just gonna put it maybe pivot by pivot here. You get a longer blade on the K40, both are 14C 28N. Longer handle, if you're looking for that, that's what you're getting with the K40 over the K30, but you're getting a few more tools here with the K30 over the K40. Let me know your thoughts on these guys. What do you guys like about them, love about them? All right, any feedback, improvement, anything you dislike, let me know. Let's do a little bit of a recap here if we can fit everything on the screen. We looked at the K40, right, and compared it to the K30, which we had recently looked at. We checked out 3 different variants of the Lothar Falcon, and they all passed the whack test, right, being a punch lock, button lock, and all. Then making a debut here in the channel, we got the VYR Knives. A new kid in the block, giving you a budget option. Again, these can be very affordable. Let me know which one's your favorite of these, guys. Let me know down below. Shout out to these brands for sending these in for me to check out and share with you guys. All the links are down below, and it does help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you and at 0 extra cost. Shout out to my Patreon supporters and channel members for supporting what I do here. You guys are awesome. And check out the 50K giveaway video right there to your left. Make sure you get entered. The deadline is coming up here very soon, February 28th at midnight. So the moment it turns March 1st, the giveaway closes. So definitely make sure you get entered sooner rather than later. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one, either this one or this one. Peace.